Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome to my channel, Jo Knows Adventure. And today I'm going to give you my full, honest review of my trip that I took on the Norwegian Bliss out of Los Angeles down to Puerto Vallarta, Mazatlan, and Cabo San Lucas. And I took this trip in October of 2025, and this is my last video of this series. So whatever I talk about, if you want to go see what I did that day, I have a playlist that shows everything that I did each day, and it's all through that playlist. And I release a video. So if I go to Puerto Vallarta, I release that 1 week. Go to Mazatlan, I release that 1 week. So it's a few videos. I did a full ship tour. I did a studio lounge tour, and so those are on separate videos. This is all about my review of the trip itself. And before I dig into that, I need to remind everybody, I just finished my cruise, a 14-day out of Galveston on the Norwegian Viva. And so next week I will be starting that 14-day cruise. Next week will be the embarkation, day 1, next week following, and so on. I did a full ship tour for that, and I also did a studio room tour. I did a surprise. You guys have to watch that. I did an interview of a special person, and that'll be fun. So lots of stuff that I did on that trip that is just hilarious, full of fun, lots of bloopers. So you got to stay tuned for that. All right, so let's get started with the flight. Okay, so I live in New Orleans, and it was a nonstop flight to Los Angeles. I booked my flight through Norwegian, and it's second person flies free, but because I'm by myself, it was half price. And even though it's just a short trip there, it was well worth it for me to do that. I left here on the 25th of October, and I got to LAX in the morning. Like I said, it was about 10 in the morning. I took a shuttle, and I stayed overnight in the Holiday Inn LAX airport. And very convenient. It's just right there. LAX is a very big airport, very busy, but the dock is not that far. It takes you about 30 minutes if you're going in traffic. It's a little bit longer, but had a nice night there. And then because I used to live in California, I had a friend that was able to take me to the dock instead of booking a travel there. You can get to the dock pretty cheap. It's not that far. An Uber or taxi, I think it's anywhere between $45, $50, and get you down to the, now I went out of San Pedro. I guess it's called the World Cruise Port, World Cruise Port, I think is what it's called in San Pedro. And they do have a terminal in Long Beach, but Norwegian is out of San Pedro. So that was very easy for me. When I got to that, the embarkation was very easy. I got there about 10 in the morning, and everybody had already come off the ship. They were already letting us in to check in. I was pretty early. It can get pretty busy, you know, anytime you're getting on the ship is busy. But I'm a Latitude member, so I have priority. I think I was pretty much on the ship about 11:45. So that wasn't very long at all. And of course, you get on the ship, you do your muster drill. Very easy these days. You have your key card, and you go to your station where you're supposed to report. It's on your key card, and there's people that guide you through. You go up, and they scan your card that you took the muster drill. You also have it on your TV. You're not able to do anything on your TV until you watch that muster drill, or the safety. It's pretty much a safety video. So that's something that they do. It's very easy. Back in the day, remember, we used to have to put these big old life vests on, stand out on the deck 10 deep, wait for everybody to get there, and then finally they let you in. But it's very easy these days. They've kind of modernized it. And also when you check in on your phone, before you even get to the port, there's all the safety stuff that you do on the phone. So that's that. So that was pretty much my flight and the simplicity of the embarkation day. Next, I'm going to talk about the ship. Norwegian Bliss is part of the Breakaway Class Plus. So they have the cruise ships, the Breakaway, the cruise ship Getaway, and the cruise ship Epic. And then they have the Breakaway Class Plus, which is the Encore, the Joy, the Escape, and also the Bliss. So the Bliss was pretty much made for Alaska, honestly. It does the Panama Canal, goes up, does the Seattle for the season of Alaska, then it comes down to LA and does the Mexican Riviera during the winter months. Then it goes back over to Panama Canal, back to Miami. So, or it may stay, I don't know, they're getting some more ships that do the Caribbean. So, but for right now, that's what they did. They did the Mexican Riviera. The Bliss was built in 2018 and it had just been refurbished in 2025. So I have been on the Bliss. This is my second time on the Bliss. The first time was a 5-day that I did out of Los Angeles. That's also on a playlist if you want to see that. But I did that, and so I was really curious of what had been changed with the refurbish. And they took away the, let's see, that it was called, what was the name of that restaurant? They took away that and had Los Lobos in there. And then they took Los Lobos out and they made Cagney's one big room. So that was one of the changes that they did there. And they did a little bit of the, where they have the observation lounge. They kind of shortened it a little bit and they put some more cabins there. But not too much change really, but they did all the carpeting and, you know, redid all the rooms and things. So that was really nice. There's 1,716 crew members on this ship and 4,010 guest capacity, double occupancy. So I have stayed in a balcony on the Bliss, a beautiful room, well appointed. The balcony is really nice, especially for Alaska. I did book a studio the last time I was on there, and I bid and got the balcony. So that's how I got into the balcony. But this time I was just in the studio lounge. And I think Norwegian has really, they were the ones that said, okay, we got people that travel solo. We need to do something about that. And so they offer the studio lounge. They have the Haven for larger rooms, suites. They have their own area. They have their own concierge, their own restaurant. They have their own pool, their own sun deck. That's all kind of exclusive area. And for the studio cabins, you can only get into the studios with your key, and then they have its own lounge. And the lounge is really nice. It has it has coffee and tea and water and some treats in the morning, and they have cookies in the evening. So it's really kind of nice in there. A couple of the Getaway, the Breakaway, and the Epic all have their own bartender in there. I don't know if they'll do away with that, but for right now, that's what they have. And they're in there from 5 till 7, and you get your drinks in there, which was really nice because you can go in, grab a cocktail, and visit with the bartender for a little bit and then go off and to go to the show. So I did that several times, but they don't have a bartender on the Bliss in the studio lounge. So excellent. I think for me, traveling solo, it's really, really convenient to do that. The room is nice enough, big enough. You're not in your room too much anyway, but it serves its purpose, and I like having the lounge where you can go and grab your morning coffee, espresso machine. That's really nice. So we did that. Also, so they have 7 specialty dinings. So they have a more at sea where you can get like the second person flies free. You get specialty dining. You get what else do you get? $50 off per cabin for a shore excursion, which is really handy for me because I travel by myself. So it's $50 off any of my shore excursion. So the specialty dining is at cost, and this trip I got 3. I had 1 available for the 7-day, and then I have, because I'm a Latitude member, I get coupons for 2 specialty dinings. But all the specialty dinings, wonderful food, guys, beautiful rooms to dine in. They have Cagney Steakhouse, which is very popular. Food Republic, which is kind of Asian influence, really good. La Cucina is Italian. Le Bistro, excellent French style food. They treat you like king and queen. They serve the food, and they have this big dome, and they lift it up. Voila, very, very nice. Palomar is kind of a Mediterranean food. They have Q Texas Smokehouse, which is Texas, barbecue, which is really good. And they have a little area there. They'll have a little country dancing, country music playing, and they kind of use that room for that as well. So that's really nice in the evening. And of course, teppanyaki, which is they cook in front of you and do that. So I have had each one of those at one point or the other. Excellent food always. I've never had a bad meal on the specialty dining. They have complimentary dining, Taste, Savor, and Manhattan. All serve the same menu, but they utilize those 3 rooms for the people, the overcrowded people. They have the local bar and grill, which is pretty much an all night thing. Serves a set menu, breakfast, a set menu for lunch, and you can do appetizers and snacks. And it's pretty nice to have that when you come back from your excursion and you just want to go and grab a quick hamburger or something. It's good food. And also the Garden Cafe, which is very nice here on the Bliss. It's pretty big, and of course it's a standard cafe style food. They'll have certain nights, they'll have Asian food one night, or they'll do seafood another night. They'll do a roast prime. I don't know if they did prime rib. I know they did a roast. And of course you have the observation lounge. The observation lounge is a floor to ceiling full window view of the front of the ship. And they have lounge chairs and tables, and it's pretty quiet. Basically, it's good for the Alaska cruise. People go up there in the evening. It has its own bar, and you can a lot of people up there take their kids and they play games and checkers and cards. A lot of card players. And there is a library, which is very nice. The library, a lot of tables inside there, a lot of books actually in the library, which I was quite surprised. When I did the ship tour, I showed you the library, and it's very nice. So the observation lounge also has continental breakfast between 5:30 and 11. A couple places in the observation lounge on either side of the ship, and it has yogurt and fruit and I would call it more finger type foods, but it's good. It's continental, like I said. And then from 2:30 to 5, there's a light lunch. So that's very convenient. All right, so now I'm going to talk about the activities on board. You know, all the ships have them. So you have the typical, the bingo and the casino, the slot tournaments, I think they do the poker tournaments and all that. Have all the game shows, trivia, that sort of thing. But they have like a jogging track, of course, the casino. They have a kids aqua park. They have hot tubs available. They have video arcade, speedway, which is the racetrack with the little go-karts. They have miniature golf, ping pong. They have the main pool. There's Horizon Park, which I discovered only because I did the ship tour, but it's got fake grass and it's up on top deck, and it overlooks the whole ship and out in the sea, and it has like a gazebo sort of thing with some lights up there, and it's actually kind of nice. So there's sunbathing up there. There's of course the Mandara Spa, which has the thermal suite. You've got all the hot tub up there. They got the saunas and all that. So that's up there, plus a fitness center. And so for kids, they have the Splash Academy, which they have for the teens and they have for the young guppies. Excellent program for kids, guys. The teens have their own room and arcade area, and the guppies is very nice. You just check your kids in, and and they have, it's very, what's the word I want to say? It's very structured for the children and for the teens, and it's excellent. They do a lot of activities. Of course, they have the art gallery, they have art auctions, the photo gallery, and of course the gift shops and the duty free. So, and like I said, they do karaoke, the game shows, they go arts and crafts, they have a painting class, bingo, of course I said the slot tournament. So I did do bingo this time. I usually don't do bingo. I didn't win. I had a pull tab and I got $1. I won $1. Took it to the casino with a $20 bill and won $300. So that's on my video, so you'll see that. And I also did this time. Of course I always do it a canvas by you, and that's a painting class, and those are always a lot of fun, guys. I've done so many. I'm kind of surrounding myself with all my paintings. And then we have the shows. Jersey Boys. Oh my goodness, guys. If you go on the Bliss and you have a chance to see the Jersey Boys, top notch. Excellent, excellent show. They have Icons, which is it's music that they sing, blah, blah, blah. The singers sing like Dolly Parton, Whitney Houston, and that. So they sing the songs, and they don't try to act like them or anything. It's just the icons. So very nice, very, very good, and I enjoyed that. And of course they have the Beatles, Beatlemania, Beatle Experience. So they'll either be in the Cavern Club or they'll be on the stage. And of course they had comedy and they had magic shows. Plenty to do on ship for your sea days. Or if you don't get off the ship and you stay on the ship for your port days. You're never bored and never alone. Really. I mean, I travel by myself, but I'm not by myself. So now I'm going to talk about the ports. The first port, we did 2 sea days down from LA down to Puerto Vallarta. So Puerto Vallarta was October the 29th. We docked at 7 a.m. and all aboard time was 7:30. I chose to do the walking tour And the walking tour, Puerto Vallarta, was really nice, guys. It was 4 hours. And if you have an opportunity to do the walking tour, that's excellent. A lot of people would head down to the Malcon, which is like, it's a huge, it's not even a boardwalk, but it's along the sea, a lot of statues and stuff. But I happened to be there just before the Day of the Dead, which they celebrate November 2nd. And so they already were putting up all the decor for that. And I'm going to be throwing pictures in here of that, but it was really a lot of fun. Got to see where Liz Taylor and Richard Burton lived. Got to see the, I want to call them flyers, but they're on this long pole, and there's the flute player at the top, and they hang upside down and swing down. So I'll throw that in here as well. But I got to see all that. It was, like I said, it was a full 4 hours. Had a little time to shop, and then they took you back to the ship. If you wanted to stay, that you could, anywhere that's, like I said, from 7 a.m. I think I met at 9 o'clock, and for 4 hours, it was, still had plenty of time in the afternoon if I wanted to stay. But the walking tour really took you all over, so I really didn't need to do that. But a lot of different things to do. The next port was the next day. October 30th was Mazatlan, and we arrived at 8 a.m. in the morning, and all aboard was 5:30. I also did another walking tour of Mazatlan. So it's really a nice docking area. It's a working dock, so when you get off the ship, you have a trolley that takes you to the port entrance. You have a big shopping area, a big plaza, and it's where you can catch your taxis there. If you're taking a bus tour, I believe the buses, I think the buses are there off the ship, but the trolley takes you to the taxis, and then you can walk into Mazatlan, the old town. It's not that hard, but the walking tour was nice. The bus shuttled us in, and then dropped us off, and we walked through the old part of town and then into the newer part of town. And I really liked it. We had got to see cliff divers. There was an avenue there. They call it like the Beetle. I'll throw the picture in there, but I don't know why it's there, but there's the Beatles. And so it was very pretty. I think I learned a lot. The tour guide was excellent, spoke very good English, of course, and a lot of knowledge, answered our questions. We had some shopping time there. We were able to have stopped in and got chips and salsa and a margarita if you wanted to eat something. I chose to take the bus back, and but we could have, some of the people stayed, or they dropped them off and stayed at a different place. So, but I went back to the ship. Like I said, there's plenty of shopping before you get on the ship right there, so that's nice, and enjoyed that. So very good. Mazatlan is really nice. Cabo, the next day was in Cabo, which is the 31st, Halloween. And we arrived at 6:30 in the morning, and the last tender is 1 o'clock. So if I'm going to say anything about Cabo, I would suggest, because it's a tender port, do something from the ship. If you arrange to have something, go out to see the arch. They have snorkeling, they have beach days, they have all sorts of stuff right there in town. My example is it was Baja Highlights. So we went to a glass where they demonstrated glass blowing, beautiful little thing. And then we went outside of Cabo itself to another old city, old town, and walked through there. And when we were coming back, well, we were a little late anyway getting off the ship. That's the other thing, because it's a tender, and it wasn't stormy, but the waves were causing the tender boat to kind of go like this. And so it took a while for people to get on the tender boat. And thus, coming back, you have two ships, and the line to get on back on the tender is enormous. So give yourself, that's where I'm saying to take your shore excursion, because if you have to be, last tender is 1 o'clock, well, people are starting to line up at like 12 o'clock. So you're really only there for like 3 hours. Our difficulty was we started late. We got caught in traffic coming back. We were the last bus, the last group of people. We were so late that they were loading all the stuff that, like, Norwegian has their tent and their, you know, how they give you not cocktail, but a glass of water and towel and all that stuff right there. They were loading all that stuff on the boat, the tender. So we were the last. I mean, we didn't get back on the ship till about 3 o'clock, and we were supposed to be on the boat. So it was a little rough, but they won't leave until we get back because it's a ship tour. So that was nice. And so then, of course, it was Halloween that night, and that was one of the activities that's special, just like if you go at Christmas or New Year's or Valentine's Day or any of these special holidays. People brought their costumes, and they were fabulous. We had one guy and he was dressed kind of like in a dark suit, like kind of would call him Dracula. It wasn't Dracula, but he had angels. He had the full set of angels. I think he was trying to be Michael. That movie with John Travolta where he had a long coat on, and I don't know, maybe the movie. I think it was called Michael. And anyway, I don't know how he packed those wings. They were huge. I didn't have room for my own clothes, much less bring wings or a costume. So, and like I said, we had 3 sea days. So I think all in all, the ship was beautiful. I would highly recommend the Bliss, of course, especially if you're going to go to Alaska on that. And highly recommend the Mexican Riviera. It's a lot of fun, even if you do the 7-day or the 5-day. The 5-day includes Ensenada. You don't go all the way down to Puerto Vallarta and that, but I think it's just a really good cruise, and I really enjoyed it. My flight home was seamless. Got off the ship, the bus took me right to the airport. I didn't have to wait. I think I flew out at 1 o'clock on Southwest nonstop, and I was home by 6 o'clock. So it really was a good trip all the way around, and I had a lot of fun. So, all right, so that's it. All right, guys, so that's my review of my trip. Like I said, don't forget to give my videos thumbs up. Don't forget to comment, ask questions, and especially watch the videos all the way through, because I have the subscribers now, but I need the viewing. So watching my videos all the way through helps the algorithm, puts my videos out there. Have you shared my videos? I really have a lot of fun telling people that I do YouTube, and they just can't believe it at my age. But like I said, it's not that hard. It's just a lot of fun, and I'm just myself. So that's it for this series. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed presenting the Mexican Riviera to you. Again, stay tuned for my Caribbean. I have the 14-day coming up on the Norwegian Viva. So until then, I hope everybody's having a great day today. I hope you're being safe, whatever you're doing. And until my next cruise, love you all.